Point of the top line is right in the middle of the loin. Most of the dogs in Whippets and Borzois are here. So to understand a proper top line, the highest point of your top line has to be here. Now, there were a few dogs that were high in the rear, and their high point was way back here. Okay? So it is hard as a breeder, and I'm not saying that you guys are doing anything wrong. This is what all the sighthound people who have top lines like this have to consider when you're breeding, right? Is where your top line is at, and you have to be honest with yourself, because there ain't no hiding it. And then you'll get dogs. Then you'll get dogs that are downhill. That's another thing you have to be concerned with, right? You get them where they're high in the rear or they're low in the rear. We want balanced, and that balance is from the prosternum. You draw a straight line all the way to the ischium. This is the point of the hip right here, right? So there should be a straight line that goes across. That's the center line of your dog. And like with Whippets, Borzois, and Silkins, a lot of times the tuck up is actually above that center line, right? So I can tell you from Whippets, and I don't know the Borzoi standard as well as I know the Whippet standard, but Whippets are supposed to be equal distance to the ground from the base of the elbows to the ground and from the base of the elbows to the withers, meaning their deepest point of their chest should be right there at their elbows. 50% above, 50% below. They're not supposed to be low on leg. They're not supposed to be high on leg. So lack of depth of chest is something to consider too, right, when you're breeding. So all these are a function of how the dog moves, right? And by that center line, you should judge everything from that center line. So when you have the dog stacked here, right, you should have the same angle here, right here, as you do in the shoulders, right? But that angle here is rotated a few degrees. I can't remember, I used to know. I think it's like 20 degrees. Is rotated, right? But the knees should point straight forward, not out, not in, because that affects how they trap, right? So I did see a few dogs that were crisscrossing. They're supposed to converge, not single track, okay? Or not over. I saw a few of those too, right? So when you're looking at this, shoulders can be in basically 3 different positions, right? You can have a shoulder that's in line with the point of prosternum. You can have a shoulder that is out of line with the prosternum, where the point of shoulder is higher than the prosternum, or the point of shoulder is lower than the prosternum. Okay? If the point of shoulder is higher than the prosternum, the dogs, and they still have angulation, the dogs will be able to reach forward, but they will reach over the ground, not to the ground. And they're supposed to daisy clip, right? So you don't want a dog that reaches over the ground and then down, as opposed to reaching towards the ground. Their toes should literally drop right underneath their nose as they're moving, right? This is a lot of information I'm giving you guys, so bear with me, right? So if they're rotated the other way, where the point of shoulder is below, they bend from the elbow and lift at the pastern. So they lift because they can't really reach. So they get that hackney movement. So they have an inability to reach forward. Okay. So when you look at it from that standpoint, there's another position that can be wrong, and it can be wrong in all 3 directions. Your whole front assembly can be put on too far forward. Okay, and the issue with that is when they're put on too far forward, no matter what happens, they can't reach. It doesn't matter where they're put together, right? Their reach is limited. And so if the point of prosternum is behind the point of elbow or point of shoulder, they won't reach as well as they would if their prosternum was out in front. So an ideal angle is about 45 degrees, right? It's hard to get that, trust me. And sighthounds, whippets, borzois, we all have the same problem, straight fronts, right? These guys are no different. This is our objective or our goal. So when we're...
I have a question about the front. This is again, greyhounds. I'm like, why is it the 45-degree angles? Because I've seen straight greyhounds who are some of the fastest.
Yeah, okay, I can answer that.
Because for me, the point is speed.
I can answer that, right?
Okay.
That is fast. When dogs are straight in front and straight in the rear, you've got one big giant lever and one big giant lever, and they're straight. The dogs don't have to bend.
Okay.
What it does is it eliminates motion of other joints, which makes the whole process faster.
Okay.
Those same dogs can't turn worth a dickens.
Oh, that can make sense.
Right? Because now they can't slow down, collapse, angle for a turn, make a move. And if you're chasing a rabbit and you've got a straight lever in front, straight lever in back, the rabbit makes a turn, that dog turns wide. Now the rabbit's got some distance.
Yeah.
And then that dog has to try to catch up, and then the rabbit goes, oh, I got him now. And the rabbit will literally turn right back into that greyhound because the greyhound can't collect. Because everything is so straight, it's like running on high heels, right?
Yeah.
You've got no more angle, no more stability, so you're just, right?
No,
So
absolutely.
if you're
A lot of
coursing,
fast greyhounds
if
can't
you're
turn.
coursing live rabbit or live game, angles are everything because you can collect.
Okay.
Right? You may not be quite as fast, but you can cut the angles because you can turn with your prey.
That makes complete sense.
Right? So the idea is rabbits, right? There it is. Okay, so when you look at, I know, you're just done. I know.
Another dog?
Huh?
You want another dog?
Yeah, we can get another dog.
Another one out there?
You wanna use BJ?
Up on the table?
Oh, BJ.
Bring him up.
Okay.
Come on, can-
All civvy relatives. I'm hearing it.
We got one. We got one already.
All right.
This one?
Herb,
Yeah.
he's on the shoulder, then his mommy's feeling.
Will he
I
just
love
stand here?
him. Oh man. He's so cute. He does. He really does. I love their faces.
I know. You have no idea.
He's like, whoa, why am I up here?
He's like, why is everybody staring at me? Okay. So this one here, you don't mind, do you? I don't know what you do. You don't mind, do you? Okay. So this one here, this is a perfect example of where I'm talking about the front assembly being put on too far forward. Right? Because the point of the shoulder is actually in front of the prosternum. Okay. So plenty of depth, almost plenty of depth of chest, little shallow. And that will happen because now the deepest part of the chest, the shoulders are in front of the deepest part of the chest. So because of the shape of the chest, how it comes to a point at the prosternum, these are the dogs that actually crisscross when they're coming at you because they don't have anything to hold themselves apart, right? Because it's all in front of the assembly that holds them apart. So when they reach inward because there's nothing to stop that inward motion, right? When the shoulders are placed in the right position, that alleviates that problem by being so wide. When they reach forward, they can only converge. So it's really important for the side gate and the down and back to have the front assembly put on in the right place. I mean, there's so much here to learn, right? Also, that of the angle of the shoulder affects the angle of the pastern. Most dogs, and there are always exceptions to the rule, they're dogs that outmove their structure just because they happen to be hyper limber. And that you get dogs that can outmove their structure, right? You can also, if you have dogs that are straight in front, usually they're straight in pastern. Those are those fast dogs you're talking about, right? And so those dogs that are so straight in front that they don't have bend to pastern, you do not want to do agility with those dogs. You do not want to do fly ball with those dogs because that's what they depend on to do transition, right? So these are things all to keep in mind. Even when you're showing your dog, you want to hide those things from the judge, right? So you want to make sure you get your dog in a position where they're relaxed and you can take that rise and just lower it a little bit, right? You don't want them flat.
Or is that someone else?
But if you notice, I'm rubbing this dog and he's coming down, and you'll see handlers do that. That's to relax that top line and make that high spot a little further back. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I looked at a lot of dogs right there, right? And that's a big deal. Where that is, the further back it is in the right place, the more agile that dog's going to be, and the more comfortable they're going to be in the skin, and the more they will stand square, and you not have to touch them. The game is balance, and it's also moderation, and that's the same for Borzois and Whippets. So keep it in mind. All right, good enough. All right.
Thank you. Another victim.
Um,
Do you want?
let's do one more silken. Let's get one with a lot of pro sternum.